Well, you all found the new Zoom link, which is great. Today, I wanted to look at some AI systems for images and things that you can do with images. I know, Sandra, it's something that you've looked at. You've had have you had to play with any of the things I've sent over?
Oh, no, no, but photography and images are my complete Achilles heel. I'm
Right.
terrible.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, I've already sent you some links before,
yeah.
and I will put them up in the group for everybody as well. But I wanted to, I'm not going to show you all of them because there's so many, but I wanted you to kind of see what the possibilities are for you and how you can use tools without necessarily having to pay. Now, some things are paid and some things are free. There are a lot of them that give you a free trial. And they mostly work the same way. So once you've been into one and done a free trial on one, you can get however many images, 10 to 40 images on a free trial. And then you can use those however you want. And then you can move on to another system and get your free ones from them. So it can actually give you quite a lot of images that you can use without paying. And then if you find one that you just really connect with and you love the stuff that's coming from it, you can look at buying a membership, whether it's just for a month or whether it's for a year or whatever, for your images. But if you plan really carefully, you can generate an awful lot of images without having to pay. So let's have a look at the first one. I think, what shall I show you first? Okay, I'm going to show you this one first. Has anyone used any AI systems for doing images?
Not images, no.
Oh, well, something.
I've used Midjourney.
Yeah, I use Midjourney all the time. I love it.
And DALL-E through ChatGPT.
Yeah, brilliant. So I've done so much on Midjourney. To me, Midjourney is like my happy place where I go when I've got half an hour and I just want to chill and I just create art. I absolutely love it. But I've downgraded because it was really, well, I think it was really expensive. It was but I was on the top tier. It was $48 a month, which is an awful lot for playing. So it came up for renewal. It's literally this month it came up for renewal, and I've downgraded. I think it's like $24 a month now. They do a lower one that's about $9 a month. But once I get started, I'm really awkward. If I want to create an image, I'll create up to 200 of that one image before I find one that I really like. But you probably wouldn't be as fussy as me.
You'd be surprised.
Well, exactly. It's one of those things that I like what I like. So
I decided I had to go. I can't remember if it's the highest one, but I think I went up higher than I would have wanted to, purely because I wanted my images to remain private.
Then you're definitely on. If you do it yearly, it's $48 a month. If you do it monthly, it's $60 a month. But that's the only plan where you can actually have your images private and not on a public forum.
Yeah, because I want to sell my images because
Yeah.
I'm doing clip art as well. So I decided I just had to bite the bullet. I didn't want them to be in public domain because I want to sell them.
Absolutely. And that is something to consider if you're using something like Midjourney. You do have to pay more, but then it's not being shared on any public forums and you can use those and resell them. So if you wanted to earn passive income, you could literally create artwork and be reselling it on Etsy, or quite a few of the stock sites allow you to actually add AI art on there and sell those too. So you can earn very, very good money through creating bundles, especially if you really niche down and create specific artwork for specific groups. And obviously you've got a really great aesthetic, Kaz.
Thanks.
Well, it is. So, you know, you've got an audience that would buy that kind of artwork and it would fit really, really well. I'm sure
Can you tell them that then, please?
Do you know, if you're going to sell the artwork, Etsy is probably one of the best places to sell it through, apart from your own site. But you're only going to sell it if you spend the time and really get to grips with understanding SEO and tagging.
Yeah.
And that's what most people don't do. They just create lovely artwork or templates and list them and think, oh, everyone's going to want these. But you won't get seen, especially if you're a new Etsy brand, you won't get seen. You need a minimum of 20 items and preferably 50 items before they really see you as even worth looking at. And if you don't have all of the search engine optimization and keyword optimization done on it for every listing, it doesn't know who to put you in front of. So you're just trading blind, whether you're selling soap, whether you're selling bracelets, whether you're selling a service, or whether you're selling art, it's exactly the same. I would say 90% of your time is not spent on creating, it's spent on doing all of the back end stuff to actually get seen on Etsy. Okay, so anyway, let's get off of Etsy and let's talk about other things right now. So this is something called Light X Editor. I'll put all of the links into the group. And I brought this particular one up because you can get 10 free daily credits. And that means you can actually create quite a lot of artwork. So if I go to their main page, you can see kind of the things that they do. So if you want to do an AI product photo shoot, so let's say you've got, you know, a hand cream or you've got a bar of soap or something like that, you can create an entire photo shoot. So if we look, it shows you how to do it. You can get the app on your phone. You take the photo of your product, and ideally you want just a really plain photograph of the product. So this is a jar with a lid. You might do it where it's just a bar of soap, a cup of coffee, whatever you want. And it will then change the background out to a ton of different styles, and you get to choose which one you prefer. And most of the product shots that you actually see online these days on people's websites and e-commerce stores are done this way. They're not spending 15,000 for a professional photographer to go out and do a photo shoot. They're using AI. Even professional photographers use AI for all of the edits and other things as well, and a lot of the backgrounds. But it's something you can do yourself. Now, one of the beauties of this is you add your photograph, you describe the style, how you want it to be, and they've got some preset elements that you can use as well. So if you're not sure, you can click on those and see what comes out of them. And then you generate your image and download it. But you can also add bits and pieces in. So here, for example, you can say that you want it on a podium, you want it with a blue background and with a spotlight, and it will produce that for you. And you can see here, it's got the spotlight on it, it's on a blue podium. You can ask it to do something like a water splash on a green background or whatever you want. You really can just go to town and create lots and lots of different options. So this is the same chair where it doesn't matter what was in the background, because they'll remove the background and then they'll just put a brand new background in there, and you can see it in different settings. You've even got all of the correct shadowing in the image without you having to go out on location. Or it used to be, to do product shots, you would have to send the item to a company and then they would recreate all of these or use green screens, and it never looked anything like what you can achieve now. And you can literally create these just with a few clicks. So there's tons and tons of things that you can do with this one. This one was just the AI photo shoot. But if we go back, you can see that you can replace things. So if there's something in the image that you don't like, you can just change it. So if you don't like that vase, but you want the flowers, you can just change it and have a whole load of different styles of vases come up. And now they do, in fact, there's quite a few AI programs that will change entire outfits. So if you were presenting on Zoom, for example, and you were a teacher, you can clone yourself and you can change your outfits constantly just by clicking a button, and it'll put you in all sorts of different clothing without you having to have all sorts of fancy wardrobes. So it's getting more and more expansive now, the types of things that you can do. But there are some for people who, I don't think we've got anyone in the group who does clothing or apparel, but if you do, there are AI systems, and you can contact me, I'll give you some details, where instead of you hiring a model now, you can literally have your clothing put straight onto any of the models. So, for example, here, this might be your clothing, and you just have the images of the actual clothing pieces separately, and then it will transplant them onto a whole variety of different models as if they were wearing the actual clothing. And they've got to the point now where they're starting to even be able to do quite short video clips of models wearing your clothes and actually moving in the clothing too. So it won't be very long, before the end of the year probably, you'll be able to put clothing and apparel, accessories, even jewelry possibly, onto an AI model and have full videos, at least up to a minute long, of them on a catwalk and posing in different positions without the expense of having to hire an entire film crew and all of the models to go with it. So we're only really getting started on imagery, but there's so many things that you can do. And there's lots and lots of different elements in here that you can use. So the pricing for this particular one, LightX Editor, 10 free AI credits every single day, you can definitely produce all sorts of artwork, think about the images that you want, and create the same soaps on different backgrounds. But for only £3.99 a month, you can get 1,000 monthly credits and play around with loads and loads of different things, or you could just sign up and do it for a single month and get a whole stack of them in a library that you can use for lots and lots of different posts. So it's a really affordable option for you. So
Can I just ask a question? Sorry.
Yeah.
You know, like the sort of, say, for example, 10 a day, but if I've got 24 soaps, do you mean you would take a lot of different pictures? So you wouldn't just have 24 pictures of 24 different soaps. You'd have one soap with maybe 10 different pictures. Is that what you mean?
So you could do it either way. So if you put an image in there, you could create 10 different images from that one soap. So you could have it in different shots with different backgrounds. There are systems out there already which will allow you to take your item. Let's say that you have a bottle or a candle jar and you've only got one product shot of it. The AI can now work out how that would look in different angles without you having to take the photo in loads of different angles. So it can work out, if you do it, head on, it can work out what it looks like from above and what it looks like on a 45-degree angle, etc. And then it can superimpose that into all of the different backgrounds.
And is the reason for that so that people don't get bored of looking at the same photographs?
They do get really, really bored very quickly.
Oh, right.
So you can reuse photographs, but normally you would use the photograph with different text or different stickers or in a different kind of situation, make it part of a reel or part of a story or part of a carousel. You do other things to it, not just use that one image. Or you might crop the background out of it. and then put it on a coloured background, or do other things, but you wouldn't just keep using the same image over and over and over, because if someone sees that image, they won't carry on to normally read the text, because they'll be like, oh, I've seen this.
Right.
Yeah. So you want them to, people scroll at lightning speed these days. They stay on a post for seconds. They're scrolling. They need something that's going to stop them in their tracks and make them think, what is that? So the more that you can put in there that looks really sexy or looks gorgeous, and they're like, oh my God, that's beautiful. So if you've got soap, a wet soap in the mold, and it's all shiny and looking really, really nice, then take photos of that. Take a few seconds of a reel, a video clip that you can use as a reel, because that's going to be far more interesting to them than just seeing exactly the same photo of a cut bar of soap. And when you do post something on social media, normally the first thing that you post, you want some kind of movement or transition in there. So either an animation or a video clip or something where it's transitioning from one image into another in the first couple of seconds to make them go, oh, what was that? Rather than just something static. So anytime that you're making your products, you can set a little mini tripod up, or a big tripod if you want to, and just set the thing to record if you want to, so that you've got a video of the whole thing, and then you can literally cut out little tiny sections, tons and tons of them, that you could use over and over again, of different sections of you making that soap and cutting the soap and wrapping the soap and packing the order. And you can save all of those then into your Instagram reels or wherever you want. Just put them into your photos for the time being, but then you can call on them when you want them. So if you were using CapCut or any of the templates for reels, some of them, you're 15 or more photos in a single reel where it's clipping between them all. So if you've got a whole load of shots, you can just go click, 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 and you're done. And it puts the whole lot together as one small reel. So you need a lot of content when it comes to images, but you can reuse them in loads of different ways. So like for Jenny's candles, for example, we take photo shots in square and in 9x16, the tall phone size, for everything. So we'll do them in sets of 3, we'll do them in boxes, we'll do them angled, we'll move across them and do video clips, we'll zoom in on them and do video clips. We do as many as we can for every single set of candles that she makes. And then they stay in the, I'm on a Mac, so we just stick them in photos on the Mac. And then when we're ready for doing a new reel or something like that, they're right there. Same on the phone. It's still, I'm on an iPhone, so it's still photos, but we can literally just click, 6 or 9 images and then create a reel out of them. So the more that you have, the better. But that doesn't stop you from going back and using old images as part of a new reel, because it's mixed in it. You're not generally just using one image, you're using multiple images or videos and images mixed together for a reel. Is everyone following me?
Yeah. I'm just going to plug in the charger.
What do you do, Kaz? I know you're quite big on social.
Sorry, I keep getting distracted by my 5-year-old.
That's okay.
What do I do with what, sorry?
Do you use multiple images on your reels or multiple video clips?
At the moment, I do images and multiple images on reels.
Yeah.
Because I'm finding videos and compiling videos a bit overwhelming at the moment, so I'm building up. I did do a reel for my subscription box launch that I was quite proud of. That did quite well. And I've been doing my videos, I've been putting them into a website that chunks them down smaller. So I'm hoping to use some of those in Reels. So I'm trying to go more video because I know people like that better.
They do. They prefer video over still images because it's moving. It keeps their interest. If it's a still image, they can spot that image in a couple of seconds and they've moved on. But if it's a video, they're looking at it, it's changing. So they need to kind of have a look and see what's going on and what's next because it's constantly changing. So it's giving them something new to look at, which means they're staying on your reel for longer or your account for longer, which means that you're triggering the algorithm and it's showing that people are liking your content and you're keeping them on that platform for longer. So then Instagram will push that out to more people because it looks like people are engaged and really enjoying your content. Whereas if you have a static image and you've just got one image, they've already flicked and they're on to the next thing. What do you use for chunking up your videos?
I think it's video AI.
Oh yeah,
Video with a Y, AI.
VidYO.
Hang on, let me find it.
What do you mean by chunking up? What does that word mean?
So I take a like an hour-long video of me making a product, put it in this, and it will make it into smaller chunks. It uses AI to determine where best to slice it, and then
Oh,
gives me videos of like 3 minutes or less.
And they're great for doing shorts, but you can do shorter ones than that. So 3 minutes is still, it's great for a short video, but if you're doing it for something like Reels, you want really, really short clips. So 3 seconds, 5 seconds, 8
I
seconds.
think I haven't played too much with it yet, but you can set it.
You can
I
set
think
the time, can't you, so that they're smaller. So
it is vidyo.ai.
yeah,
vidyo.ai.
yeah. It's actually really good if you do podcasts or if you do webinars or things like that. You can put the whole thing in and then it will go through it. It will understand what's being said in the actual video itself, and then it will look at which ones are most likely to be engaging or even become viral, and it will create small clips for you that you can use. But if you've got a video that's longer and you're putting it into a template that's short, it will only take the first, let's say that you've got a clip that's 8 seconds long, but the template you're putting it into is 3 seconds for that section. It will just play the first 3 seconds. So you can put longer clips in anyway and still use them in your reels. Okay, so another one that I wanted to share, because that LaTeX editor is nice and affordable, not expensive at all. But another one I wanted to show you is do I do? No, I'm going to do this one first. So this is part of Bing, and I've talked about using the Bing AI before, because using this you can use ChatGPT 4 without paying for it. So it is a nice one. So to get to this, you go to Microsoft Bing, you just type in bing.com, and it will come up with a little box like this that says ask me anything. But we want to go to Ask Copilot, which comes up underneath it. And when you go to Copilot, you've got a few options. And one of them, so this is where you just start typing just as you would in ChatGPT. But on the right-hand side, we've got other things. And one of them is Designer. And we're going to go to Designer. And this will create AI art for you. And we can produce some really, really nice things. Why can't I move that now? We just move that out of the way. We can produce some really, really nice images in all sorts of ways. So one of the things that you can do is, I mean, give me an idea. What would you like to create? Someone think of an image that you'd like to create that will go with a post. So it might be an image that you want to put a quote on. It might be an image that describes something in the scent that you're using for a product.
Something relaxing.
Okay, lovely. So what kind of thing are you thinking of when you think of something relaxing?
Something with a view, but greenery, or
Okay, so
I'm not very specific.
no, that's fine.
Like a woodland area, maybe. I'm not sure.
Okay, so let's do it. So let's do an illustration of a woodland glen with a relaxing pond. And then I'm just going to put serene, if I can spell, serene, tranquil. Do we want any particular colours? Or should we just see what it comes up with first?
Yeah.
Now, this isn't as good as Midjourney, but for some of the things that you create, it produces some really, really nice things. And you can sometimes get it to give you multiple. Oh, I need to sign in. Of course I do.
Is this free as well?
It is. It hasn't saved it, has it? Let's try again. Designer. Okay, so we said illustration of a woodland glen with a, what did we call it? A pond?
A relaxing pond or something.
Relaxing. Relaxing.
And you have
pond,
serene in somewhere.
Tranquil, serene. Let's just try that. So I like to normally, so it's actually given us 4. This is powered by DALL-E 3. So you don't need to use DALL-E 3 separately, although you can go straight to DALL-E 3. And it's generating it at the moment. So here we go. So we've got 3. So it's, I mean, they're fine. They're certainly able to be used. You could put text over these easily. You can download whichever one of these you like. You've got the export button here, which will download them for you. And then we could import this into something like Canva, and we could just put text straight over the top if we wanted to, or we can use it as it is. But what if we want to change it? So it's giving you some ideas. So it's taken just that really small prompt, and it's saying we could add some colorful flowers, we could put a waterfall in, or we could change it to a different time of the day, which would change the color tone as well. Oops, where did it go? But we can do other things as well. So let me just go to, I'm just going to bring up just need to find a prompt for you to give you an idea on what you can do with some other things. You'll have seen me use kind of watercolor images on some of the posts that I do. And I like creating those because they're just fun and they're a little bit different, and I can produce them for almost any kind of situation. And I want to do it on. Just going to try and find a PNG. Here we go. All right, so let me find one. Where's it gone? Okay, I can't find the prompt for it, so I'm just going to do it from scratch. Let me just share my screen. If anyone gets stuck and wants me to actually go over some of this with them on a one-to-one, just message me and I'll hop on a call with you anytime and we can kind of go through some. So let's do, I'm going to do a whimsical watercolor of a female in her 30s. We'll put blonde hair in her kitchen. With a display of handmade soap bars on her table. So what we're doing is we're giving them some context. We're saying what type of image we want. This first one that we did is quite generic. It's not very realistic. Oh, keeps flicking out. But let me make it smaller so it stops doing that. In this one, I'm saying that I want a watercolor, but I want it to be quite whimsical. I want a specific person. So I want a female. I want her to be blonde and I want her to be in her 30s. You can put any age in, but the more context that you give it in the prompt, the better. I'm saying I want her to be in her kitchen and she's got handmade soap on her table, and I'm saying bars specifically. So then I'm going to say that I want it to be highly detailed and realistic. And then let's run that one. And we'll get a completely different style of artwork. And you can do anything that you want. So we could create meme images, or some of them now will do posters with all of the text and things on as well. So there's another one that I love to use called Ideogram, and that produces some really, really lovely posters or illustrations with quotes and sayings or other bits and pieces on, or an image with a speech bubble where the text is there. So this one is produced it because it's whimsical. We've got that more cartoony character to it. If I do the same thing and I take out the whimsical, I'll do exactly the same one and I'll show you. So we won't do whimsical. We'll do a watercolor illustration of a female, and we'll rerun it. And you can see that just how one word will change the style of the image. But I would happily, I'll just let this run and then I'll click on this one. But I would happily use one of these. I'd probably use this. Oh, she's done it again. I would probably use this one here, and I'd use that one quite happily with something. And I could definitely put a speech bubble there and just put something next to it and use that in a simple post. You can change the aspect ratio. These are square, which is great for Instagram, but if you're doing reels, then you want a 9:16. So you can change all of that in there. Let's see what it's done. So can you see it's a little bit of a different style now to this one, which is more cartoony? Can you see that difference? Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes.
Oh, I can't see anything at all. I'm blind doing this, so I don't know if I've lost you or not. So it's a different style. It's more realistic. Now, if you do something on a program like Midjourney, it's quite a big learning curve to learn how to use Midjourney well. And it is a paid program, but you can get super realistic images using something like Midjourney. It just takes quite a bit of time to really know how to use it. So let's say that we take one of these. I'm going to take this one. I'm going to download it. I can save this image. And you can create collections and actually keep them on there. I'm going to export. Why do I want to? Where did it save it? It hasn't brought it up. Got boosts. Okay, so if you click on the actual image that you want, you can do other things with it. It has got other things down here that you can change the original into pixel art, watercolors, block print, steampunks, all sorts of other things. So you can play around with these and get entirely different images. But before I show you that, I want to just download the image. There we go, it's done it. So we can change that and just go back in and click on another one, and it will change that to a different style. So you can really play around with these an awful lot. And then underneath, because we're on Copilot, it's always really, really good at giving you other things that you could do. So it's changed the image from the original and given us a different style and viewpoint. But we can add a window with sunlight streaming in, and then it will do a new one, and you can really play around with this as much as you want to. And it's free, which is pretty good, really.
Sarah, can I ask a question?
Of course you can.
So, you know, like we seeded Chat GPT last week.
Yeah.
Can you seed this with, for instance, if I wanted that woman there to be me or an image like me, can that image be used in different settings?
So it can. So can you see how it's changed it now?
Mm-hmm.
Now we've got
that bottom right one's nice.
it is, isn't it? So let's have a look. So can you see? We've got all of the bars nicely wrapped up, and then we can click that and we can download it. And that goes to your downloads folder. But we could do this for all of them, you know, watercolor, block print. There's some really nice ones on there. But going to what you were saying, Sandra, I think it was Sandra, sharing. On this one, you can add images in and give it a kind of starting point, you know, and show it an image that you like, and it will take inspiration from that. But if you're wanting to impose your face onto that,
no, it's not so much that. It's more, you know, like on Facebook, you have your avatar and things like that. Can you kind of go, this is me. Can you make an avatar, a realistic avatar of me, and then use that in different
you can
pictures?
you can create avatars and a variety of different characters. You can create anime characters and gaming characters and the whole 9 yards. Yeah, you absolutely can. But you will need to describe your characteristics.
Yeah.
So if you've got shoulder length hair, you'd say shoulder length hair. If you've got mid-length hair, the color, all of the different things you need to kind of explain to it. And if you can add an image as well, all the better. But DALL-E 3, which is on Copilot, is not going to be the best. If you want really good content, there are better things out there. So you can play around with lots of different ones and find which ones will be best. There are certain AIs out there that are really, really good just for creating characters and avatars. I'll search a couple out and put them into the group for you, so that you've
Okay.
got a couple that are more specific for that kind of user case.
Yeah.
But
Thank you.
if you wanted to create images of yourself, you can actually take images of you. There are softwares out there, Adobe, for example, do it, where you can put your image in and then it will produce you in completely different situations and shots. So you can
Yeah.
show
I
yourself
think
in
that's kind of what I'm probably
whatever.
saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you could
Okay.
do that with your products as well.
Yeah. Oh, right. Okay.
But Photoshop is a paid program, not a free program. Well, saying that, you can get a month's free trial. So with all of these, you know, there are so many out there now. They're not all equal by any means, but the more that you understand how to use them, most of them work in a very, very similar way. And that means that once you've used one, you'll be able to figure out the next one quite easily. And you can hop between them and do the free trials, or however many you can have a day or a week or a month, and use all of those freebies while you're learning. Why not? You know, you really can use quite a lot. I want to show you something else, and that is some bits and pieces on Canva. Now, I know some of you have Canva on the paid plan, and some of you may not use Canva at all. Some of you might be on the free plan. But one of the things that a lot of people like to be able to do is to remove backgrounds. And removing the background in Canva is a paid thing, but it doesn't have to be. So I wanted to show you a free way of doing it. I want to go to home. So let's just go back to home. And I'm going to bring up a story. So it brings up the pane already in the right size for stories and reels. Now, I'm going to show you this feature in a minute, but first, I just want to show you something that you can do really, really easily. So let's bring in an image that I've got on here. For example, I'm going to pick one where we've got boxes or something on it. So I'll take that one. So this one has got boxes and it's got my kitchen table in the background, but I don't want that. I just want my boxes of candles. Well, if I'm on the paid plan, I can go to edit photo and I can click background remover, and it will remove all of the background with one click. And now I've got a lovely clean background, and I can literally just drag this out to the full size or whatever I want. And I've now got my image exactly how I want it. I can put text, stickers, all of the rest of it, and then use this inside a reel. And if I wanted the background to be colored, I can color all of this really, really easily as well. But what if you don't have the pro account? Well, you don't need to. So if we go back and we remove all of that, we've still got the image here. But if you're on the free one, there's something else that you can use. If we go to edit photo again, there's something here. Oh no, it is a plus. Oh, I thought it was all clever earlier. I thought I'd figured out a way of doing it for you, because there's something called Magic Grab that they've added in. A Magic Grab, if you click it, it does something a little bit different. Instead of just removing the background, it separates the items from the background. So I'm going to show you, because this can be used in a lot of different ways. So now we've got our boxes, but can you see how I can lift them from the background? So I can still have my background there, but I can take the boxes off. And then I can click on the background if I want and totally remove it and reposition this anywhere that I want. And I thought it did it on the free plan, and it doesn't. That's a bummer. I'll have to find another way for you. I've put some apps up before for background removal, but I will add another background remover for you that's free, that will get rid of all of the background for you so that you can create these if you want them. Because if you want to, on some of the software, you might want to remove the background and make it nice and clean before you put it in to something like this one, you know, the LaTeX editor. You can remove all of your backgrounds first. You've just got the actual product that you want to use. So if you had a nice bar of soap or a jar of cream or a bottle, you could get rid of that background first and then bring it into there and work with it. So in Edit Photo, there are other things that you can do as well. And I know some people might not know where this Magic Studio is, but they're putting some amazing features in here all of the time. So I'm going to go back to home and just show you something from scratch. And again, I'm going to start just with an Instagram story or reel, it doesn't matter which. So this little feature up here is fairly new and it generates videos for you instantly. So if we click on this, it says to select at least 3 files that we want to add into the video. So let's go to that same clip. I'm going to do, these ones are all in the right size, so I'm going to use some of these. It said 3, didn't it? At least 3. Let's do 4. And then here, describe the kind of video we want, and we'll use this to generate a design. So let's just click on try an example. So it says a promotional video for an urban roast coffee shop. I don't want that, but we do want a promotional video for an artisan taper candle company. Okay, and then we're just going to click generate. And we're going to let it do all of the work. Now, you don't even have to have the same products in there. It might be a montage of different things. So it's putting all of this together. It's putting little animations in. It's putting the thing there, and then we can play it. Now, it's quite clever. I've got a logo in there, which is actually out of date, but it's seen the word candle, and it's used a logo that I have. But it's also generated AI music to go with the video. So let's play it.
Is this all Canva still?
All on Canva. So you see it's putting text on there that fits my candles, but I haven't put any of that in. It knows what to put with these images. So the AI is understanding what the images are, and it's finding appropriate text to put in with them. So I would want to curate my own text or change it. But if you are struggling one day and you haven't got a reel or a post or something like that, and you want to put something up, it's doing it for you. You can literally, in how many seconds from start to finish, you know, choose 3 to 5. I think you can have 10 images on here. Hang on, let me tell you how many. Oh no, that's actually not that. That's literally just the thing. Let's just keep adding and see how many it will allow us to add in. It's more than 10. So it's going to give us 20. Even more than 20 we can add in there if we wanted to. That's nuts, isn't it? And it will do it. It's that simple. So it will generate the music, it will generate the text automatically. If you've got your logo in there, it will add the logo for you. And if you go to the last page, you can edit all of the bits and pieces in here. So you can link it, because it had a link, if you remember. You can link directly to where you want them to go. And I mean, 10 seconds and you'd have the entire thing already done. Oops, let's go back. but these candles are made with natural ingredients. Da, 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 da. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It's fairly generic. But right there, we've got something that we can use when we've got nothing else to put up that day. Have any of you played around with anything like this before in Canva?
No.
Yeah, I use it quite a lot.
I could not live without Canva. It's like breathing. I use it for everything. And all of the time there are new features in there. You can pretty much run your entire business through Canva. You can even create a free website on Canva. I don't know if that's something that you knew, but if you haven't got any website at all and you're only using social media, you can literally build a small website in there and then send people to that website for more information.
Can they pay through that website?
No.
Oh.
It's not an e-commerce system, it's just a website.
Oh.
But give it time, and it probably will, because they're constantly improving, they're constantly buying out other big companies and then taking over all of the tech from those companies and building it into Canva. So it's huge. One of the things you can do in Canva, and I don't know if you've ever actually seen any of this, but Canva has an app store. So if you come down to where it says apps, there are tons and tons of things that you can do here. So you can create frames, really nice frames as well, all sorts of shapes and designs for your photos. These are featured ones. You can make video characters talk with AI. So Sandra, you were talking about creating an avatar. Well, here you can create realistic avatars that talk.
Right.
You can tilt your designs, not just have them straight, but actually tilt them and skew them. That's really good if you're doing mock-ups. You can create things specifically for Facebook or Instagram ads and then use it to check your designs are going to work and not be penalized. You can automatically add subtitles to videos. All of that is in there. And then it shows you tons of other things. So this one adds depth and things like shadows or reflections. You've got access to millions of GIFs in here that you can use in your posts. You can change the colors. You can create pixel art. But we've also got things up here where it's all AI powered. So you can click on that and use all of the AI features. All of these apps that you can use inside Canva. And look how many different types of apps you can use inside Canva itself. And loads of these are free, and you can use them right inside Canva. So, you know, from dream face to adding music to QR codes, there's everything that you could possibly want right in here. And that's in the app section. You could spend a year and not begin to touch some of the things that you've actually got in here. Now, inside Copilot, we were using DALL-E, and in here, we've got access to DALL-E, and we can actually open DALL-E inside here, and then we can start typing in what we want. So let's say we want a rustic kitchen table with neatly stacked handmade soap bars on it. Let's just do that. And then we'll put I'll put realistic and highly detailed. I'm not going to give it a style. I could. Oh, should we just do surprise me? Oh, I didn't want the sea otter with a pearl earring. We're going to get one. I don't know if I can go back. I can't go back. Let me just do it again. So a realistic image of a kitchen table with neatly stacked and made soap bars, highly detailed. You don't have to spell check everything. It actually is quite good, but I like to. Let's just generate and see what it comes up with. So we can use DALL-E 3 in here as well. So if you're on a program where it limits you to a certain number of images a day and you run out and you're on a roll and you want to carry on, swap and do some in another program. So here we go. We've got this one here. Let me make it bigger so you can see it more. So it's trying to make it look as if it's stamped. And then we got this one here. I wouldn't say it's, oh, I didn't put a rustic table, did I, on this one? So it's soap. It's not brilliant. You'd be far better with your soap. But if you need a picture of soaps, or you could give it a very specific type of soap, you could create some. And then you could use those as well. And you could still go into there and remove the background and do all of the other things in there. You've got other things in Canva that you might want to play with. One of them is things like Magic Eraser, where you can erase part of the image. So we can literally just say, I don't want this bar here. And you just rub over it and then it will try and delete that one for you. And it didn't do that very well at all, did it? But if that was like a vase of flowers or something and you didn't want it there, you could absolutely do that. You've got Magic Expand. So if we wanted this to be an image that fitted for the entire 9x16, we could click on Magic Expand and we can say whole page. And then it will put extra pieces at the top and bottom to make our image fit the entire thing using AI. And then I want to go back and show you another tool in here. So down here, we've got mock-ups in the app section. And if we open this, I just want to kind of show you some of the things that you can do, because you can pay quite a lot of money for programs to do some of this, and it's all in here. So let's say, well, for example, if you wanted a mobile phone, you could just click on the mobile phone and put the image in. But if you wanted, let me see. They have them with, you know, if you make candles, they have them of all of the different types of candles and things like that as well. You can literally go through and then choose specific types of things, including packaging, you know, your tablets and bits and pieces like that. But we can go through and look for very specific type of mock-ups, and then you can add your image or your product straight into it, and then use those. So the mock-up section can actually be really, really good. There's loads, and they've got tons of frames in there as well. Has anyone actually used any of the mock-ups in Canva?
No.
It does so much, so much. There are some other things that Canva does. I'm going to try and find some video clips for you where it shows you how you can add in your brand colors, and then it will create different images or different, some of them have text, some of them will just be an image. So let's say that you created an image and you changed the background of it, but you wanted it to stay within your brand colors. You can actually click on a feature in Canva and it will change everything to your brand colors, and you can just click in between the different images and it will just keep clicking through all of the different colors in your brand until you find the one that you like the best. So you don't have to mess around trying to recolorize everything. It just puts everything into your brand. It's so clever these days. It really, really is. So I'll put some links for some more tools for you. I need to make a list. Because I'm going to forget before tomorrow. So links for tools. Sandra, you wanted avatar software.
Yes, please.
I will try and get you some free ones. Are there any other use cases that people wanted? I'll try and put a video up about using mock-ups on Canva, and I'll try and show you one for using brand colors, using the AI as well. And I'll probably just sprinkle some video links over the next couple of weeks for different things using some of these tools, because there's some amazing use cases that they're just absolutely amazing. I saw one earlier actually where, have you ever used a font in Canva, but you wanted it to be bold and there wasn't a bold version?
Yeah, the edge hat.
Yeah, and there's a way that you can do that. So you can pick any font you like and then turn it into a bold version when you're doing your social posts, or a heading or something like that. It's really, really easy to do. So I'll try and put a little video up for that as well for you. Are there any other questions?
Are these links all on the Facebook page?
Yeah, I'm going to put them onto the Facebook page for you. It'll be tomorrow. I'll grab a whole stack of them. I don't want to give you too many because I don't want you to be overwhelmed.
No.
But I'll give you some options so that if you run out of credits on one, you can go somewhere else. Be sneaky. And I wouldn't sign up for anything that's like on a full trial until you know how to use a few of the free ones, because you'll end up using it all. So have a play around on some of the free ones, get better on them and kind of understand what you can do with them. Then sign up for one of the ones where like Photoshop, for example, which is incredible these days what you can do. You could literally take a photo of your soap and then change the soap dish by just typing what you want the soap dish to look like, what color you want it to be, anything at all, and it will just change it for you instantly. And not only can you change the soap dish, but you could change the table, the background, everything in there just by typing it in, and it will be absolutely perfect. But you do have to pay for Photoshop. So if you want to play around with Photoshop, get the month trial, but kind of play around with some other ones first, so that once you get that month trial, you can really utilize it to and get some real value from it. If you've got anyone in your family that's a student, you can get the Photoshop package really affordably, and then use theirs to create them. A lot of students have it already, or they have access to it, so you might be able to actually create them on there, or get them creating them for you. Give them an actual project that they can use and showcase in their classes at school. All right. Any other questions before we go today?
No.
No? Okay. What would you like me to cover next month? I'm really, really open. I want it to be about what you want it to be. Do you want strategies about posting? Do you want strategies about content? Do you want more about using tools, what would you like?
The whole strategy is good. How to build, how to actually do promotional strategies and things.
Okay, so going through the content pillars and how to
Yeah.
structure the content out. Okay, that's anyone
Yeah.
else?
I need help with hashtags that draw people in on Instagram.
Okay, I could do that.
Well, that's good because I don't even know what a hashtag does. I
Yeah,
use them all the time and have no clue.
Okay, so we'll get all of that sorted out. I think if we're going to look at hashtags, we need to look at other things too. So let's do content strategy next month, because you need to have a strategy before you create anything. And then if you're going to create, we really need to be including things like the hashtags, but we also need to look at keyword data as well, so that you're really targeting very specific people. And I think we'll do that the month after, and we'll tie the whole lot together. And I'll go quite deep on that so that we can actually, we'll do some of the generic stuff and then we'll dive deeper so that you can find niche audiences. And then when you see that you're connecting with very specific audiences or specific hashtags, then you can kind of dive deeper into those and create more content based on those. So I've already been putting a whole lot of stuff together on that, so I can create a whole guide on that for you with examples and everything. But next month, let's do proper strategy around your content pillars and how that all works out, so that everything that you're putting out has proper meaning and is optimized.
What do you mean by content pillars?
We'll go through it all. I'll explain
right.
it all.
It's like a foreign language.
It is a foreign language, and that's the thing. If you just put generic stuff up there and you haven't got a clear strategy, and you're just putting one type of content up there, you're never going to get seen. So we need very specific pieces of content being up there that are targeted, because there are certain types of content that address all of the viewer or buyer's concerns or needs. And until you tick all of the boxes on those, they'll never make a purchase. So they'll look at your stuff, but they won't click buy, and you won't convert those people until you've answered all of the questions or things that they need you to answer. So build very specific pieces of content that cover all of those in a really nice and engaging way, because you can't just keep putting posts up saying buy me.
I know, and I do, and nobody is.
It won't work.
Nobody
I feel
loves
like
me.
putting a picture of me with a megaphone going, buy my stuff now.
I know. I mean, it's all right clicking likes, but even that sometimes it makes no sense.
Exactly.
Sometimes you can get a lot of likes, and other times it's like viewed by 4 people, and you think, what? There's more than 4 people on the planet.
There is. So,
or even in Scarborough.
So with Instagram has just changed their entire algorithm. If you're going to start on Instagram, you could not have picked a better time. Not at all. The algorithm is now completely changed on its head, and it actually gives far more reach to small makers like yourself. You do not have to be a massive channel with massive views to get traction. You're going to get far more traction as a small independent than you ever have before on Instagram. But that doesn't mean that you're just going to post something and it's going to give you raving results. You have to be consistent. So if you're not posting regularly, let's say you post for 5 days and then you don't post for a week, it'll take a month of posting to get back to where you were originally, because you didn't post. So you lost all the traction that you got and all of the good information that Instagram had about it's got rid of, and you're starting from zero again. So you have to build up all of that because you didn't post. And that's why I suggest creating lots of content that's already sitting there, and then you can just post it out. So you've got content for the whole month. That's where we want you to be. So you're literally not having to sit there every morning thinking, God, what am I going to post today? You've already done it. It's there. You just got to click or even schedule it directly on there. So it's already going to go out at a set time.
See, the only Instagram I do is that, you know, if you go on your Facebook page and then you can say post and it automatically posts it onto Instagram. But I've never done any, when you're talking about hashtagging on Instagram, it's only from, because I've ticked the box from my Facebook page.
Yeah.
Is that the same?
Ideally, if you want to use Instagram properly and grow it properly, you need to start using Instagram, not just. You can
Sorry,
repost
just say
as
that
well.
again. I couldn't hear you. So just go back a bit.
I'm just going to mute Kaz a second. I think it's a little boy. He's dead cute. So so you can still repost from your Facebook page, but ideally you want to be going into Instagram and adding reels and adding stories directly on Instagram.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, next month we will start looking at content pillars and strategy for posts. And then the month after, we'll do a deep dive on keyword research and hashtags, and looking at really playing around with different keywords, different hashtags, and trying to really look at niches within your market. Because when you hit on the right niche, you grow so much quicker. But finding it takes trial. You've got to play around, try different things, and see which one is actually hitting home with people and what you're getting the most traction on. All right, so that's
what date's the next
meeting. But this month, I'm going to keep posting little links for you so that you can watch little video clips with tips on how to use some of the tools in Canva, because it's so good. And then if I find any other ones for some of these AI image softwares, I know I've mentioned some before, I'll repost some of them as well. There's a really fun one where you can repost your face onto a load of memes. That one can be quite fun for some funny posts and things like that. So I'll repost the whole section of those as we go through the month, and some Canva tips to kind of keep you on images. And do have a play around on DALL-E and kind of think about what you can create, because you can create a whole load of them and then just store them in your images section. And any time that you need images to post up there, you've got them there sitting there. You're never sitting there thinking, God, what am I going to post today? You've got something you can use. And you can really edit down a lot of the images that you've done and make them better. You can recolor them. You can take the backgrounds out of them. You can resize them. You can make them less blurry. You can do so many different things. All right, go and have a wonderful evening. I'm going to go and have some tea. 8:15. Oops. Sorry for keeping you over. Have a great time. If anyone is stuck and can't do this, the images, and you want me to hop on a one-to-one with me, just reach out to me, let me know in the group, and I'll hop on and do it with you.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful week.
Bye.
Bye.